Okay, we are live. I would like to,
Oh, here comes Tim.
got Tim. All right, I'd like to call the Youth Sports Committee meeting to order at 6:02. If everybody wants to take a look at their minutes that were emailed out for a second. How you doing, Tim?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Eric. All right, next up is the Youth Sports Capital Improvement Funds. There has not really been much movement in this, as there's not a whole lot going on. So there's still roughly about, I think, $111,904 in the fund. So are there any questions on the capital improvement funds? No? All right. Next up is schedule and field assignments. So there's not a lot going on right now, besides a handful of travel teams practicing. The high school is doing conditioning over at the sports park, and we have lasers over at the stadium in the evening and ASO up at Oak Mesa at night. I believe they're starting back up next week. So that's pretty much about it. So not a whole lot going on in sports this time. And this is normally a kind of a slow time anyways, even non-COVID. So it would be about the same as it is as of right now. So that's about it for fields. So next up is update from committee members. Brandon, you want to go first?
Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing? Good to see everybody zooming. I mean, we're pretty much from a Little League standpoint still holding kind of still. A lot of leagues around us, Claremont, San Dimas, Glendora, they've opened up registrations, but not for baseball. They're just going to be doing some pod type, workouts. We had a board meeting not last week, probably before Christmas, a couple weeks before Christmas. And we kind of just decided to kind of hang low for a little bit and kind of see what new developments we're going to come out with, any new guidelines and the recent surges that we've seen before we make any commitments on what we wanted to do. Obviously we have a big league, over 600 kids, and I just don't know if we would have the full-on manpower from a volunteer perspective to run, just 50 different pods, what we would get in terms of if we opened up registration. So been getting a lot of emails from a lot of parents in Laverne wanting to know what we're going to do, but that's kind of where we're at. People want to know, we want to get, and I get it. They want to get out there. They want to get busy with their kids. And so they've been asking, hey, is it okay if we sign up at San Dimas or Glendora or Claremont? For right now, I'm just telling them, yeah, because I don't have a firm answer of how we want to play this card yet. Just don't know if we want to go down that road and open it up. And then it's just a lot of management. It's going to be a lot of management from a volunteer perspective, to manage, we had 48 teams last year, 48 teams, and that didn't even include our older division. So if you had our older division, we would have had almost 52 teams. And then to manage that from, just a safety perspective and trying to get all the different protocols into place, it would be very difficult. Not to say that it can't be done. It would just be hard. And then right now, just getting volunteers to get back out and wanting to have that kind of oversight, it's tough. So we're hanging low right now. Not to say that we're not going to do anything, but as of right now, we're just hanging back, kind of watching everybody else kind of play their cards and seeing how they're going to kind of do things. The goal for us is to eventually get something started, whether it's maybe just only opening up to the first maybe 100, 150, 200 kids or something like that based off of some age groups, and to see if we can find some volunteers that can maybe run some consistent type pod workouts along those lines. That's just a thought that's being thrown out there. But definitely we have some time. We're only in January. I mean, normally in a non-COVID year, we would probably be 2 weeks away from training, tryouts. And, we wouldn't be getting up and going until mid-February anyways. So we still got some time to make some decisions of where we want to go, but that's where we're at now. I'm still personally working on, managing all the travel team schedules and stuff like that at the field. So there's some use going on out there, but nothing like what we're used to seeing or what we potentially could be seeing during this. So, what would be if everything works well, we can maybe get out there sometime in like that March area. That's kind of our goal.
Thank you, Brandon. Eric.
So happy New Year, everybody. We're kind of in the same boat. We currently have, out of our 7 teams, we have 6 teams that are participating in training. They're all itching to get out there and get going. Our leagues haven't been much help. They set a date and then they postpone the date with another date, and then they postpone that date and set another date. We are already past all of our typical fall leagues ending. And this would be a quiet time where high school gets started, and then the younger teams would go and probably do something like indoor and find some tournaments to go to. Having said that, we have had a couple teams that are looking to travel to Arizona in February. We've had one team already go to Arizona and actually did pretty good in their division. Personally speaking, I'm not a big fan of that, and I try not to encourage it, but I understand that there are families and kids that want to go out there and do it and take that risk. And they do. We've been lucky for the most part. I can tell you that practices are a constant point of concern. COVID currently right now, just on my 2 teams alone, I've got probably half the kids that are out for either having COVID or have had COVID or have come in contact with somebody or are just simply staying at home to be safe. So we are always watching the practices. We're spacing every single time. Everybody's extremely good about wearing masks. So it's generally not a concern that we're going to pass it during our training sessions. It's more about somebody coming into the training session that doesn't know that they might have it or have been exposed to it, and potentially exposing their teammates. But with our distancing, it's been a low. I can't say that we've had any exposures to report to the county from one teammate to another teammate while training. So with that in mind, I mean, we're doing pretty good, but currently for me, it doesn't seem right to be out there at this point in time, but we're doing everything we can to protect everybody. That's about all I got.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, brief update of what's going on with ASO.
We were as of this moment, the plan is to start training up again on the 11th, and we are planning to go until the end of February. But with everything else going on, I have been rethinking that, and I have a few days to change my mind, and I'm properly leaning towards pushing everything off to maybe starting sometime in March again. I probably would feel better letting this Christmas and holiday surge go over and hopefully come back when things are a little bit healthier and not as much of a worry. But I still have, it's weighing heavy on me, just like the gentleman. I'm sorry, I don't remember everybody's names yet. Just like the gentleman said, it's and hearing him that about half his kids are either not comfortable or are infected with the virus. I'm starting to really strongly lean towards pushing it off till March. So this decision, obviously, I have to make in the next day or so, and it will probably be made by the end of the day tomorrow. But yeah, I just don't want anybody getting sick on my watch or anybody getting hurt from this. So that's where we are.
Okay. Just keep me posted on that, Hal.
I sure will.
All right, Michelle.
Happy New Year, everybody. So we are back at school this week, and our fall sports for this year are back to conditioning. Our fall season is already past the preseason at this point. It should have been, and we should be well into our league. CIF is going to make an announcement on January 19th as far as what's going to happen with the season and how we're going to move forward with that. Besides that, we're looking to bring in our second season of sport for this year, this COVID year, which would be the remainder of the sports that we have. And they're going to be allowed to start practicing on January 25th. Of course, the California has put out their kind of tiered sports that could be playing possibly after January 25th. Looking at that, we're looking at golf, cross country, which that season is almost over by CIF, and maybe some tennis, track and field, and swim. And so that's in our first tier if California allows that, and the state does. If not, then the next tier brings in field hockey, but that season is almost over. So yeah, we're struggling moving forward. We're doubting our first season, but we're hopeful that still something could happen. But we're waiting right now. So, and we have some kids as we return, lower numbers right now. Some are not coming out; they're kind of staying home. And so I think some people are scared to get out there and just condition. But we have not had any COVID contacts at our conditioning as well. It's usually somebody outside, or they get it from outside source, or at home. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Michelle. City-wise, we obviously canceled our youth basketball program, which was supposed to start up this weekend, or actually the draft was supposed to be this weekend. So that season's canceled. The next thing I would have is track, which is late March, early April. With the schools not in session and not be able to form teams at the elementary schools, I highly doubt that will happen. I know a lot of other cities have also canceled their track meets. They're coming up. Just with kids that's not in school, it doesn't really look feasible even a month or two away. So my hope is to try to do something in summer, but we'll have to wait till we get a little closer to see if that's possible or not. So that's about all that's going on city-wide sports. The only thing I have, my Gators swim team practicing at the pool, but they're still one person per lane, social distancing and whatnot. So that's about it sports-wise for us. Robin, do you have anything?
You know, I have a question. Listening to all the reports from everyone, it made me wonder. From what I keep watching the news with the medical directors talking, they're saying that they can see possibly this surge over more like April or May. My question, let me start with Little League. Brandon, if by chance everything looks really good, late April, early May, can you still have a season? I know Little League has the World Series, by July, August, you're supposed to have your all-star team, but could you still have a session of, Little League playing time this year if it does end up not opening till April or May?
Oh yeah, 100%. The World Series, dictates the tournament season, but based off of where we're at, I doubt that. I mean, the last one was canceled, obviously. I see this one being postponed, but just because if that does go on, that's just an option. Like the city doesn't have to submit an all-star team, so we could just say, hey, let's forego the tournament side of things and let's just try to play a 10-game regular season and be done with it. Let's get the kids back out. And I think that, if things cleared up, we posted that, registration wouldn't be an issue. We would be able to put together a local type of, 10-game, 12-game type season. So yes. And then that would still give people the freedom to get back. Still, if let's just say worst case scenario, we got a green light, let's say at the end of April, we can open up registration, do a quick 2-week type registration, get people ready by the end of April, start practicing in May, maybe start playing games at the end of May. That'll take us to maybe like the 4th of July weekend and be done. And then that's just a little, get their appetites and then really plan for the fall. So yes, 100% we could, if that's where this takes us.
Oh, good. And I do want to hear from ASO and then also from Eric too, to see what can be done. But my question, I just want to let you know, and all the others, that if you need help with registrations, if this has to be crammed through or you need help, call Tim and I. We're there to help all of you, okay? So how about ASO? Can you do a later season?
Yes, we can. We're not, AYSO, the way AYSO works, it's the primary soccer season is the fall season. That's just our terminology for it. And then during the spring, it's usually all-star games and all-star teams that do. So if we get permission to play, and registration is low for all of our areas, and some areas, I can tell you, Covina has only been able to do just weekend small pods. Whoever shows up, they separate them and do it at the park because they use facilities that are not available. I know all along Hacienda, Roland Heights, their area hasn't been able to do anything because they use county parks. And even though the county allows this kind of training, they have not opened up their parks to be used at all. So if we are allowed to play games, we'll probably have more of a tournament style in the immediate area, so we don't have to really travel too far outside of our immediate neighborhoods to play, and we'll do whatever we can to have some sort of season for the families and the kids.
Good, good. Eric, does it affect your playing?
Well, the sad state of club soccer is that it's all about the money. So we have already paid money to our state organization, register all of our kids under the stipulation that it was required in order for insurance to cover everybody during the COVID situation. So the registrations are done. Everybody has their playing cards other than those kids that are coming in new. So at that point in time, the leagues went ahead, and even though they weren't able to set specific dates, they required all of the clubs' teams to pay money for the fall season, which is done and passed. And they continue to state that whenever we're allowed to open up, they will start a new season right away. On top of that, like I previously said, there are teams that are going out of state to play in tournaments, and you can do that at any point in time throughout the year.
Okay.
So that's kind of where we're at. So whenever we're allowed to go, the leagues will immediately set into motion to formulate games and locate. The hardest part will be the locations, because some counties will open up, some clubs will have access to their fields, other clubs will not. So that puts a little scheduling snafu there. But yeah, we could go at any time.
Okay, good. Okay, that's it for me.
Tim, did you have anything? We can't hear you, Tim. Still can't hear you.
But we can hear him typing. Isn't that strange? We can't
I
hear.
think that might be Lahal.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No,
I was trying to be quiet.
does not look like Tim has any audio right now. You might be texting me.
Do you know sign language, Tim?
Probably the signs that are not appropriate for live stream. Well, we'll move on to other. Hold on, I got it. Hello. Hey Tim, let me put you on speaker. All right, go ahead, Tim.
Sorry, guys. I can hear all of you, but I can't talk. Anyway, I just really appreciate the resiliency of everybody. This is hard right now, and it's going to be that way for the next couple months. But like Robin said, whatever we need to do to help, if the vaccine comes available and we start clearing this up by April, May, you know, we'll all help whatever way we can to get us started back up, to get our youth out there in the fields and families. But right now, cautiously moving forward is extremely important right now, especially with the COVID numbers. But we're here to help. Thanks, guys. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, Tim. All right, do we have any other business?
Chad, I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you know, is the county planning on issuing another revision to their temporary orders anytime?
I have not heard anything. I suspect if things get really bad in the next few weeks, it's possible that I know that the last few things they've kind of waited for the state to do something before they've enacted something. But I know LA County, obviously our numbers are pretty bad. So I mean, it's possible if the numbers get real bad the next 2 weeks, they could, but I haven't heard anything specifically on it.
Okay, thank you.
All right, everybody got the email with the one public comment I received through email. And I have nobody that has emailed in that requests to speak. And I just checked my email and I don't have anybody at this time either. So we have, besides that one email, we have no other public comment. At this point, can I have a motion to adjourn to our next meeting for March 3rd? Tim, do you have a second?
I'll second it.
Robin? All right, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for logging on tonight and meeting. I know there wasn't a whole lot to talk about, but hopefully our next meeting, we will have something good to report and we can hopefully see a light at the end of the tunnel to get going here. So thank you for all coming. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me, shoot me an email, get things going. So, all right.
Okay.
All right, thanks guys. Thanks, Chad.
everyone.
Have a good night.
Everybody.
See you guys.